an abandoned military town somewhere near Vorkuta, where the eternal autumn has already merged with the beginning of the Arctic winter. The sky here was dirty leaden, low, pressing down on the roofs of 5-story buildings with broken windows. Serioza and I came here for the copper. Or rather, for what was left of it in the deserted switchboard and transformer booths. I remember the first time I noticed this when we were opening another transformer on the outskirts. The air was thick and sweet, and it smelled of rot and something chemical. I raised my head to take my mind off the stench and saw cloud. It was the same gray color as all the others, but it was floating against the wind. Slowly, lazily, like a drop of oil in water. Gray, look, I nudged my partner in the side. He looked up, winced. What? See that one over there? He's going the wrong way. Sergei looked where I was pointing, and his face turned gray. Oh, that. Do not pay attention. The locals said there was some kind of shit with clouds. No fucking way. Who the fuck are you? An amateur meteorologist? You'd better get the wire cutters. It turned out that we are not the only scavengers in these parts. The locals, those who could not or did not want to leave, called them residents. They said they were the souls of those who suffocated in the mines, froze in the tundra, or simply got drunk and dissolved into this melancholy. They didn't get to a better world. They're stuck here. I noticed them more often every day. They clustered over the most dying places, over the burnt-out Gornyak Club, over the rusting quarry, where the murky green water stood. Sometimes they just hung motionless. Sometimes they moved. It was like they were chewing on something. In the evenings, we drank cheap vodka in one of the surviving Khrushchev houses, where Grandma Nina lived out her life. She told me. They're not evil, she croaked, taking a drag on her cigarette. They're just hungry. Previously, under the Soviets, there was a lot of food. Plans, construction projects, all this enthusiasm. And now there's nothing. Just ruins. So they're pining. And they're watching. They're watching, that was the scariest thing. If you stood under one of them for a long time, memories began to creep into your head. Not their own. Strangers. Fragments of someone's grievances, the smell of cabbage soup in the dining room, the song from the loudspeaker, the cold of a miner's helmet on his head, the bitterness of not being given a prize. They fed on it. The new fuel for them was grayness itself. We found a warehouse with decommissioned appliances, full of meth. Real wealth. But the warehouse was right under their pasture, the place where they hung especially thickly. Sergei, intoxicated by the discovery, waved his hand. That's bullshit. Ghosts, clouds, the drunk caught a fever and that's it. Come on, load up and get out. We entered the warehouse on a gloomy, windless day. And above us, at a height of perhaps 30 meters, they were hanging. Several inhabitants. They were denser and darker than the usual ones. The colors of fresh asphalt. We started carrying crates. I could feel the eyes pressing down on me. Thousands of other people's eyes peering out of the cotton wool. Images popped into my head. Here I am, a little boy, running down the street, and a funeral procession with a red coffin is passing by, but this is not my memory. I'm from Krasnodar, and these are the Vorkuta snows. Sergei, hurry up, I moaned. Be patient, almost everything. And then Sergei, dragging a heavy box, stumbled over the fittings and loudly, with swearing that would make a harbor whore blush, shouted to the sky, "What are you staring at, fuckers? You're interfering with my work." The silence that followed his scream was worse than any thunder. The clouds above us suddenly shrank sharply, turning from shreds into dense, heavy clumps. And they floated down. They didn't fall. They descended like parachutists, smoothly and inexorably. They no longer smelled of rot, but of ozone and static electricity. "Run!" I shouted. We rushed to the UAZ. I ran first. "Sergey, follow me." And then I heard a strange wet sigh from behind. One of the inhabitants, dark and dense, like smoke from burning rubber, covered Sergey with his head. The gray one stopped, shook, and began to sink to his knees. Muttering came from the tangled fragments of phrases, numbers, names, curses, children's laughter. All at once, Sergey's face was turned towards the sky. Her eyes rolled back, leaving only the whites, and tears were streaming down her cheeks. He was crying, and he was smiling, and he was grimacing in pain. All the emotions he had ever experienced, and those experienced by dozens of other people, swept across his face like a hurricane. I froze in horror. The other inhabitants slowly surrounded him, touching his trembling body with their cool, weightless edges. He was a festive table for them. The concentration of everything they had collected over the years. I ran. Without looking back. I flew into the UAZ, tore off the ignition and took off. In the rearview mirror, I could see the dark mass above Sergey's body slowly rising back into the sky, becoming even denser and more saturated. And Sergey himself remained sitting on his knees, motionless, with a mask-like face, on which tears continued to creep. I left. I gave up everything. But I know they haven't gone away. They're all there. And they're hungry. Sometimes, on a particularly cloudy day, I look up and see the familiar dirty beige haze in the sky. And I think one of the pieces recognizes me. It slows down. He takes on my features for a second. They are not evil. They're just really, really hungry. And their pasture is our whole sad, gray life. And we're just cattle.